Welcome, true seekers, to the Spiritual Sunday Speech for All Signs. I know it's beneficial, so please stay away. Welcome, everyone, to the Spiritual Sunday Speech. This is for all signs, so this is a unified lesson. And in the end, we will pull some cards to see how the universe or the Most High wants to relate to us on the subject. This was a tough subject. This is a subject I did not want to be the messenger of this message, particularly because the Bible is not really clear on the subject. And so what I've come to realize is that the issue that we're about to embrace, we use the scripture more so as encouragement, but not so much as a manual on what to do. Okay, so I'm sure that what I'm about to discuss was happening then, but maybe due to the culture and the era, and the origins of life, things were dealt with differently. So I'm going to discuss this in 5 parts as briefly as I can. But before I get started, I want you to know what we're dealing with. And when I went to source to clarify what it was specifically that she wanted me to deal with, she gave me something very interesting. And so we're going to go ahead and get to that right now. So let's go ahead and prepare for this message, okay? Now, I was given a just, okay? And you all know I have a new device, so things may be backwards. I'm not sure. I have turned things around to make it better. And then the basis is pharmaceuticals, legal pharmaceuticals. And I was like, why are you giving me this? Help me understand. So she clarified it with Michael Jackson, social media. When I thought about Michael Jackson, social media, pharmaceuticals, we know that we lost our brother to drug usage. We lost our brother Michael, whom I consider an earth angel. We lost him to addiction. And that's what we're really dealing with, addiction here. So let's go ahead and get started with the first chapter. And I start with 1 Corinthians 6 and 12 because in essence, there is no right or wrong on the earth, right? And that is expressed in this chapter in 1 Corinthians 6 and 12. And I believe this was the Apostle Paul speaking at the time. Okay, and I am using an online Bible called Biblegate if you want to follow along. And it says, I have the right to do anything, you say, but not everything is beneficial. I have the right to do anything, but I will not be mastered by anything. That's point blank period. So we have free will, right? To do whatever it is we want to do on this earth. And she has provided for us everything good. So where is the addictions coming from? If she has provided all things good, okay? So we equate addiction to overindulgence, right? But even in that, sometimes you have to ask yourself, is this edifying? Will this be beneficial for me? And to me, it doesn't matter what kind of addiction you have, but for whatever reason, Source wanted me to point out pharmaceuticals. And everybody knows that that is the biggest addiction in the earth. Pharmaceuticals. A lot of us believe this stuff is set up for addiction because that's how they get rich. Right? Michael Jackson had serious injuries. He was burned on stage from the, I believe it's the Pepsi Cola commercial. And then he dealt with a lot of physical ailments because of his dance style. So he became addicted. And that's what we're going to deal with. Now, went through my studies, it was like, wow, this is really kind of hard to bring this across to people because it's nothing in the Bible per se about drug usage or per se addictions. But I have recognized that there are scriptures that are beneficial. And one of the things that I said about addictions is first you have to recognize that you have an addiction, right? First you got to recognize that. So I'm going to go to 1 Corinthians 15 and 33 real quick, okay? And we're going to discuss 1 Corinthians 15 and 33 because if you don't recognize a problem, you can't fix it. And one of the things that I've heard the most about addicts is the first thing they're going to say is that they don't have a problem. So let's see what this verse has to say about recognizing your problem if they don't mind. Oh yeah, that's it. Bad company, do not be misled. Do not be misled. Bad company corrupts good character. So they also use this in drug addiction organizations and clinics. We all know that if you recognize that you have a problem, you can't associate with the same people because why? It's kind of a lure, you know, it's a turn on, it's a pleasure. It'll lead you to do those things. And I have come to realize that most people who try things were in a group. You know, they like to say marijuana is the gateway drug. That's one of the biggest lies they ever told. Marijuana is not a gateway drug. Your associations is a gateway to anything. Drugs, marijuana, alcohol is the worst of everything outside of pharmaceuticals. So I'm kind of relaying this to anything that you would consider an addiction. But if you have to recognize it, and then you have to break associations. You can't be with the same group and expect to be cured. Okay? Now let's go to 1 Peter 5 and 7 in regards to this. 1 Peter, if you bought your study tools, as I always ask, because you need to follow along for yourself. And like my mama told me, don't take nobody's word for nothing. You go and study it for yourself. And she had a profound effect on me. And it went deeper than what she ever would have thought, to the point that it led me to change my life spiritually. You know, because I let you all know I walked away from religion because the truth made the difference, you know. But I'm not saying that religion is bad. I do believe religion is a first step to consciousness. So I went back and picked it up, but not in the same way. I don't honor it the same way I did in the past. And we will understand that by and by. Okay? Humble yourselves, therefore, under God's mighty hand, that he may lift you up in due time. And the God of all grace, who called you to his eternal glory in Christ, after you have suffered a little while, will himself restore you and make you strong, firm, and steadfast. To him be the power forever and ever. So you know when you break an addiction, it's a struggle. It's going to take you through some stuff. But God said, I promise you, if you stick with it, I'm going to deliver you. And not only will I deliver you, I have found him to put people in powerful places who were ex-addicts. They end up in managerial, supervisory positions. They end up opening organizations and being of great help to the public. See, God will use you, but you got to get that cleaned up. And I have come to understand that our struggles are not by mistake. That You were born to experience some of this stuff because that was the way for him to make you the prime example for the rest of the world, whatever it is. Okay. So I am coming to learn even more and more as I live life. There's nothing to be ashamed of in your past. If you tried drugs, you tried it. You were delivered. If you was addicted to sex, oh well, you were addicted to sex. You know, we're human. We've all had something to deal with in this life. We all have something that we may have thought we were ashamed of. You may have been sexually abused. You see what I'm saying? You feel shame. You know, I understand that. You know, that's me. Yours is something else. But if you cast your cares, when you give it to the Most High, there is a process that you go through and it'll test you. That's why it's letting you know, first thing, you're going to have to cut the cord with that circle of friends that you like to kick it with. Because even when you know you clean, they're going to come back around. They're going to tell you, nigga, you ain't changed. Come on. Or whatever little street words we use out here, you know. That seems to be the big word. But anyway, from that to this, we're going to deal with how to cure that stuff. You know, we ask God, but we know we can ask God a lot of things and still struggle. You know, it's got to be more than just that for some people. So I was like, okay, so what's the cures? I mean, you know, what we're going to do, because we're dealing with pharmaceuticals. I want to give you this one scripture. It is pretty much the only one that I have found outside of something else that gave an answer to an ailment, but not necessarily to cure an addiction. And we're going to go to 1 Timothy 5:23. Okay. 1 Timothy 5:23. Paul said, drink no longer water, but use a little wine for your stomach's sake and thy often infirmities. A little wine, you know, is the biblical cure at this time with this group of people. Okay? Because we're not dealing with the Old Testament. We're dealing with this New Testament. Okay? So we're more in the Northern European regions at this time. We're talking with the Greeks and the Romans. You see what I'm saying? And they were big on the grape. But whatever was going on, they was drinking too much water, which we know can lead to what? Runny bowels. So he said, stop drinking all that water and take a little wine for your ailment. So whatever that is, I'm letting you know that may be the cure right now. You may need to get you a little red wine and sip on that. For those of you who are big biblical believers, that's your cure. When you just need a little something, you resort to your little wine, not to get drunk. He said, don't drink it. I'm not going out into it. He said, don't drink it to be getting drunk. Just a little bit to settle you. Okay? Now, I want to get to what I know is true that's in the Bible. Okay? And we're talking about cures. For some of us, the cure for certain things is marijuana. I know people say, oh, that's hard. No, it's true. If you've ever studied marijuana, it cures everything. And if you just have to have something, you probably should resort to marijuana. But that's up to you. That's a personal belief. We're going to go to Proverbs 15:17 on that. Okay. Okay, so it says, better a small serving of vegetables with love than a fattened calf with hatred. Better is a dinner of herbs where love is than a stalled ox and hatred therewith. I'm talking about herbs. Herbs are medicinal. Now that can be abused too. You have to watch that as well. Because anything can be abused. Food, sex, too much running, too much water. too much. But one thing we know about Mother Earth, it brings peace, and people tend to get along better. You know, I can remember a time when my mom, when we were little, when we were young, and she was on the phone and she was talking. And she said, I heard her one time at a conversation, I don't want my children to use no drugs, nothing. But if they had to use anything, I would rather they use marijuana, because she knew it was safer and it was good and would open up the mind. It does so many great things. That's probably one reason why our governments fear it, because you become very open, very wise. You begin to take in more truths. You begin to see things differently, you know. And I kind of have a problem with that, because I can go down the street and literally see policemen parked in front of people selling hardcore drugs, and they won't do anything. You know why? Because they know you're destroying yourself. But if you're on marijuana, they have a problem with you because they know you different. They know you know better. And all you want is peace and love and your body to be healed. But for them, that's a problem. Now we're going to go to Revelations 22 and 2. Revelations 22 and 2. Okay, we don't need time, got time for that now. Revelations 22 and 2. And you know what? Those numbers really say something. 222. And you know, that deals with the ascended masters. You know, and that's a higher vibration spiritually. And that's like, as I said, people learn a lot more. They're more open when it comes to this medicinal herb. Now, I know a lot of people trying to classify marijuana as a drug. It is not, because drugs are man-made in that pill mixed with a lot of stuff. Mother Earth is natural, okay? And it says, in the midst of the street of it, and on either side of the river, was there the tree of life, which bare 12 manners of fruit, and yielded her fruit every month. And the leaves of the tree were for the healing of the nations. Okay. Now, I also want to deal with Jeremiah 46 and 11. I felt it was necessary, because oftentimes when people are having withdrawals, they have body aches. And, you know, they get sick, you know. Now, I don't know personally, but I do know from others and from conversations and different things like that what occurs, you know. And it's not pretty when you in detox. It's not pretty. But this is what it says in Jeremiah 46 and 11. Go up to Gilead and get balm, virgin daughter Egypt. But you try many medicines in vain. There is no healing for you. Medicine. But still, there's no healing. Because our system is not designed to heal you. It's to suppress your symptoms. But people want real cures. And when they find those real cures, they are endangered. I don't care what the race is. And they'll tell you in those infomercials, we found the cure, we know the truth. But y'all better come on and get on it, because once they skate out and they get to it, they're probably going to shut us down. It's the truth. It's what it is. You know what I'm saying? So wherever this secret bomb is in Kemet, is in Egypt. Now, patchouli, I've researched a while back. is one of those oils that they use that's good for everything. But I'm not sure if it's patchouli. You may know. But it's in Egypt. And somebody need to go find it and put it in a bottle. Now what we're going to do is get ready to move on to the Unified Tarot message. And before I do that, I just want to remind you that if you are addicted, Michael Jackson addicted, okay, then recognize it. If somebody tells you you have a problem, don't say, I know, but don't do that. Say, why do you think that? First, ask, why do you think I have a problem? But if you recognize that they're right, go to God first. Let them know you have a problem. Okay? And then seek your help. Some need to go to organizations. Okay? I've known people to do it on their own. If you can do it on your own, fine, good and well. Use your little wine. You know what I'm saying? If you're in a free state, smoke a little dank, smoke a little weed. It'll help you. Okay? And if you're having a body ailment, through this detox, find you a good body balm that, like they have the CBD oils and so forth to help you get through this. I don't know why. I did not want to do this message. I know Source wanted me to put it out there for some reason, so I have to obey. But I struggle with this because, like I said, the Bible doesn't really have the best scriptures for drug usage or for addiction, but they do have a lot of encouraging verses and information that you can ride on. So we're going to move on to the tarot message, and hopefully it will explain away what I couldn't. So stay tuned. Okay. Unified Collective Truth Seekers. What I want to do first is start off with the universal planetary lineup, externally and internally, as it pertains to this message. Just to see who we're working with in terms of this issue. Because, you know, we did lose Brother Michael. Maybe some people saying we didn't have to lose him because I don't believe personally that the doctor tried to hurt Michael. I really don't. And I really do believe he tried to, this is just my belief. I believe he was trying to satisfy the king of pop and made a mistake. Instead of satisfying him, he should have been satisfying the law in his profession. And it cost him. And externally, you'll be dealing with the love of Venus in all of this. Now, this could be a woman that's going to help you because Venus is feminine. And self-care, okay? Well-being. But this is very feminine. So this may be of aid to you. This could be your mother, your wife, your girlfriend that may have been talking to you about this. You may have realized this. You're like, I need to talk to somebody. Who can I go to? It's a feminine. It's a feminine. Even if it's male, he's feminine. Okay? Internally, you're going to be dealing with the love of Uranus. Okay? Uranus' love dismantles, breaks things up. It seems harsh at first. This could also be a loving revelation. Okay? Somebody is addressing this issue. This wasn't the prettiest. I don't even feel or look my best today. You know, it's a representation of this message probably. Because you know, you don't feel good. You know, the energy of that, I'm taking it in. You see what I'm saying? So you got a lot of love. You're aligned with a lot of love. You're going to get this revelation. But somebody feminine, if this applies to you, this is a woman. This is a feminine. Even if it's a male, it's a feminine that's going to be loving support for you. All right? So let's go ahead and see what Source has to say in terms of this message. source, what do you have to provide to the truth seekers regarding this message? Adjust pharmaceuticals. Then they're dealing with legal. This is legal. So I don't know. I don't really know a lot of names of pharmaceuticals because I don't take pharmaceuticals. It's hard for me to take an aspirin, but I remember the word volumes, and I know it was one Flex Real, codeine. I'm allergic to codeine, thank God. I don't know what else they got out there. Was used to be PCP. I don't know the name of this stuff, but you do. Okay, so we're gonna be dealing with the Page of Swords, the Nine of Swords, the Page of Pentacles, the Eight of Swords, the Hangman, the Hermit, and the Three of Pentacles. Okay. Underneath that is a solution, a backyard solution. Okay? It's a backyard solution. You don't have to go to Kansas to get it unless you're in Kansas. All right? And also, I don't know, maybe some of you will be establishing a foundation for things like this. Maybe this is something that you want to do. You want to help people that have addictions. So I see that that is part of it. The basis of your foundation. I don't know if you're getting all the information, you're doing your research or whatnot, but it's going to be a big help. It is a solution in your area if this is what you've been thinking about, helping people with addictions. I would say do the damn thing. Okay? And some of you is because you worried, maybe you worried already. Now, if you are one that's trying to help humanity, because we've talked about humanitarian services on the rise. I don't know if you watched the spiritual speech last Sunday. It dealt with that. People establishing themselves in humanity to help people. When I got this card, I got upset because I almost hate that I made the card because it keeps coming out, but obviously, when she told me to write it, it was necessary. So I'm feeling like for those of you who want to establish an organization or a safe foundation for addicts, you worried. You worried about somebody. And that's where that's coming from. Because experience leads people to causes. It's that experience. And you know the pain of that. You know the hurt of that. And you want to change that. And this has been on your mind. Okay? If it's the flip side of the coin and you're having a problem with these pharmaceuticals, it's bothering you, it's hurting you. Maybe this message that got you thinking, it's got you up late at night. You don't want to be there. You don't want to be in that darkness. You're in the darkness. You don't want to be in that darkness. You know it's controlling you. And you're thinking about this all the time. Maybe nighttime is when you really have issues, because when I was young, I didn't know this. I remember my mom that just passed, she was having a conversation one time about addiction, about a lady that she worked with. And the lady let her know that she went to AA and she was considered an alcoholic, but she only drank on the weekends. She only drank on the weekends because you have functional addicts. They're functional addicts, people that really get up and go to work and pay their bills and pay for their high. And I respect that. You see what I'm saying? They ain't ask you for nothing. But at some point, it could still be a problem at some point, Yeah. I see for some of you, somebody is on the lookout for that. They watching for you. They want to know if that's what you're doing. Or this is you waiting on this message and didn't know it was coming like this. Because there is a surrendering that's about to happen for somebody or some of you. You're going to have to submit to this message. You're going to have to submit to admitting you have a problem. And you're going to have to start finding some information, getting some information about where to go, what to do. Congratulations to you who are already on your journey. I don't know what that's like, but I do know people who have been there. Okay, I do. And I see you're going to be weighing that. You're going to be giving that a thought. You're going to, because you've been struggling. You've been mentally struggling with that already. Others who are listening to this message may say, you know what? I know a lot of people that I've lost to drug addiction, to pharmaceuticals. Let me think about this, how I can help, and establish a foundation that's safe for people to recover. Okay? But I see also you've been bound. Some of you have been bound because you've been dealing with addicts. It's be your children, your husband, your wife, your siblings, And this right here, when I look at this, looks like a crackhead. Somebody trying to figure out how to get some crack. Okay, how to get in your house. Because we all know that a crackhead don't give a damn when they're high. I watch crackheads hurt their mama to get that drug. I remember when my child's father's sister threw a rock through her mama's glass window. She got so upset about needing them drugs. Okay, that's what it do. That's what it do. And I see that you'll be waiting on information, waiting to be enlightened. Okay, or you watching and waiting to see, or somebody's watching and waiting to see if you're gonna come and get some drugs. Okay, or it's the flip side of the coin, and you're just waiting on information so you'll know which way to go, what to do, if you can do this. Okay, because it's a struggle. Okay, it's a struggle. The problem is finding places, because as I've learned, a lot of places don't take you. A lot of places are not really equipped to help you detox and recover. You may have a 30-day program and they put you in some type of isolation and give you a couple of counseling sessions and they say you fixed, and that's not true. Because you can't really say how long it'll take for a person to recover. This is what I have learned over my life, just watching people, and they even say relapse is part of the process. They know that. Relapse is part of the process. But what do? You pick yourself up. You own it. You say, I fucked up. I slipped. But I'm going to start all over. And I also read something a while back that they were saying, I don't know if it was on Instagram or TikTok, I forget. They said recovery is not for people who need it. It's for people that want it. You got to want it. And maybe that's the conflict. Maybe you have to do it on your own. You feel like you have to do it on your own. Maybe some of you I don't know. Because I see being watched, being waiting, being watched all through this, Maybe you feel like I don't want people watching everything I do, and because that's part of the program. Keeping an eye on you, making sure you're safe. That may be an issue. But being like a hermit, some of you, because like I said, you got your friends that's going to be waiting on you. Some of you have to become the hermit. You have to find something to keep you occupied, because the hermit stays occupied, particularly in their mind. The hermit is always studying, researching, teaching, maybe even doing some artwork, anything that's elevating. You don't really find the hermit to be bored. They satisfied with themselves, but that's going to be a problem for some of the people in your past. See, you probably came with a certain style and a certain energy, that they love to bounce off of. But see, your mind is changing. You want something else. And I can't have what I want. I can't be beautiful. I can't have money in the bank. I can't have a car, being a crackhead. I can't do all this being addicted to these pharmaceuticals because that's where my money gonna go. And I want something different for myself. I want to be the hermit one day, the teacher, the elevator. I want to be the one that's helping people. I want to establish something that'll help people recover because I know. See, the hermit knows. I know what you've been through. I've been there. You got master teachers in this shit, in pharmaceutical addiction or whatever addiction. They've been in them streets. They know. They can tell you how to pronounce those fancy pharmaceutical names. Okay? But that's a conflict. And look who's underneath that. The high priestess, the revealer, when she feels like it. The intuitive one, the hidden one. You hiding away. Look at that again. Look at it. Being cautious. That's going to be a problem for some of you in your circle. Because you ready for a change. And when you go get this love right here, this motherly love, I don't care if it's a sister, a wife, a girlfriend, a mate, I don't care who it is. She gonna love you through it. But Venus also will war with you. You go against that love, you may have a rude awakening. And you may realize that person really loved me and I done fucked up again. You may not want to do that. You don't want Venus to lose hope on you. And going ahead and doing that research and finding you a center or a third-party person is going to be your help. Okay? It's going to be your help. All right? Some of you get a job. Work keeps you occupied. It runs your energy out. You be too damn tired to want to hang with them. You'll be too damn tired to want to get with the drugs. You ain't going to want to do it. Because this is also a detox. Okay? So some of you really need to figure out how you want to go about it. Do you want to do it independently? I suggest you get a job. Find something. Get 2 jobs. Hell. Be occupied all the time. Be busy. So when they come along and they looking for you because they miss you and they want to draw you back in, you at work. You on the clock. You ain't got time for that. You with your woman. You with your mate. You cuddled up with her, doing what you do and being occupied in love. Because that's what it's all about. Love. They say love conquers all. Love will see you through. Test it and see. Even God said, prove him and see. Won't I do it? I'm at that stage right now. Prove it, God. Prove to me that you're the truth. We can do that, You can do that. It's written. Yeah. So let's get you a, what do I want to go with? I know I want to get you a gemstone card because this will really be helpful for you during this time of recovery. Okay. Gemstones and crystals are very effective. And I want you to write this down and go get this gemstone or look it up, print off a picture, whatever you need to do. Hang it up where you can see it all the time so you can refer to it because it will activate your chakras. It'll activate your chakras and you will see the magical power in gemstones and crystals. They are very effective. Very effective. They can change moods. They can change your mind. They can elevate your spirit. But you got to pay attention, and you got to be a willing soul. Okay. So, Source, what crystal stones do you have for the truth seekers as it pertains to this message, externally and internally? What can they work with to give them strength, power, and might to overcome and to endure? Or let's say to endure and overcome addiction. We have the pink coral, which is the 3 of cups. Okay. And internally, you'll be dealing with the fluorite, which is the 9 of swords. Okay, and that's down here, the fluorite and the 9 of swords, fluorite. So let's get the book and find out what's going on. 3 of cups. Three of Cups, the pink coral, it brings beauty, harmony, and purity into our heart. The pink coral teaches us to master our life with joy, to know and accept ourselves, and to practice loving ourselves in order to show this love to other people. Celebration, joy, happiness, harmony of feelings, regeneration, good results. Shadow aspect, extravagance, excessiveness, meaningless celebrations, false emotions. Okay, so some of you need to get in harmony with this Empress, with this Venus person, with this feminine. Yeah, because pink is girly. And I'm also seeing like tendons here, like the tendons in our legs and muscles. So there's some kind of something they will be tending to you, almost like a nurse. I feel like. Fluorite, 9 of swords. Fluorite brings mental and spiritual perceptions to the physical level. It teaches us to take responsibility for our actions. As a result, it helps us in our mental and spiritual development, bringing calm and order to the thoughts and aiding meditation. Reservations, strain, desperation, nightmares, misfortune, worries, trapped by fear. You know, some people do feel afraid when they don't get their drugs. They may feel like, hey, I'm going to die. You know, that's real. Shadow aspect, slander, revenge, imprisonment, suspicion, and panic. So like I told you, your friend's going to come. You're going to be tested. But how bad do you want it? Because there is some submission here. I don't know if it's submission to the left or if it's submission to the right. But hopefully you'll submit to yourself and be willing to go through what you need to go through, because you have a calling. You have a calling. You have a calling. Let's see what this is. We're going to get you a totem oracle message. Okay, so what would be beneficial in regards to this situation for my truth seekers when it comes to Michael Jackson? Pharmaceutical. You have the dress. Okay, that's feminine. You know who this feminine is already. Sled, slice, slip, slow. Sled, slice, slip, slow. Write those down. It may mean something. This needs to be addressed. Some of you, this feminine may be Pisces. Some of you, this is your North Node and you're dealing with this. This is part of your life. You're supposed to be going through this, okay? If it's North Node, you're supposed to be a drug addict. So you can get that experience and help somebody else. Because I tell people all the time, stop teaching what you have not experienced. Stop teaching twin flame and all of that. You don't know nothing about it. Speak about what you know. teach what you know. And although society looks down on you, didn't they say that in the fluoride? They don't know what God knows. That you was put in that situation, because you cannot teach and show what you have not experienced. And people will love you for that. Okay? So damn society. You need to be worried about the good. Let's see what your moon lineup will be. It's going to help you emotionally, dear source, with this issue. They lined up. The moon in Leo externally. It is an important time to guard against being self-centered, over-opinionated, or pushy. So maybe that's part of the energies of detox or trying to make up your mind. You know what I'm saying? Because you may be agitated. And we have to remember not to take it out on nobody, because it's not their fault. You're just going through. So address that. Let people know, hey, I'm going through. And I may come off a certain way. I don't mean to be that way. Just let me know so I can correct myself. Internally, you're going to be aligned with the moon in Cancer. Spend time with family or helping others. You hear that? Family, helping others. That's Venus. Family. Avoid situations that can be a drain on your emotions. Why? Because that's what's going to push you back into drug usage or that pharmaceutical that we're talking about. I think I'm ready for the choir. And on that note, I'll leave it here. Thank you so much for tuning in to Spiritual Sunday Speech. I hope it was beneficial to you. Remember to like, share, comment, and subscribe. Hit this notification bell. That way you'll be notified whenever I upload a video. And once again, thank you for tuning in. Till next week, peace and one love.